So social is what you emphasize, is what you've done the most of. Have you done some competing? And
I've done a lot of competing. I mean, I've done, I don't know, several routines. I competed just a little bit in country, doing some routines. In the 1991, came back from Persian Gulf War and discovered West Coast swing even more, but through the press box. And so I've done a few routines with about 6 different partners, and all of them were received, pretty well. Enjoyed. I've won a first here and there with a couple of routines. A couple of routines weren't, say, a first place routine, but there are routines that I got a lot of positive comments from people who watched it, and they enjoyed the routines. And that was more, I enjoyed that more, that they appreciated the routines and the effort. Winning was very nice for me, but tomorrow morning I got to go put on a uniform, that kind of thing, and my focus would be in the Marines. So it wasn't that 15 minutes of fame or whatever when I won. They'd ask, "How's your day?" And I'm like, "It was great. I was like, I won this contest," and they're like, "Hey, this is what we got to get done today." That 15 minutes was about 3 minutes. So just kind of like, here's reality. That kind of thing.
Right. But now it sounds like with the social dancing, you get as much enjoyment out of it, or possibly more.
Yes, I actually do. I get more enjoyment out of it. I'd like to be social dancing to, my 70s and 80s. Because I think that's what I see out there. I see people having fun. I can watch a competition and I like it. And I can go, yeah, I'd like to do something like that again or soon or whatever. But that's a lot of work. It's more work than people think. I mean, they watch a routine and they go, that was 3 minutes long and they won this amount of money. Yeah, you didn't see the, 300 hours plus of work that went behind it. And, investment and time and money and choreography, and it's more work than people actually realize.
So what I'm hearing you say, and I want to emphasize, that if you just want to be a social dancer, it's okay. Not everyone has to compete.
Right. You can actually be. We've seen a lot of people come in and they came up as social dancers, and then they started competing. They were well-known social dancers and could do wonderful dance things on the floor before they'd ever done a routine. Then other people approach it. Well, I want to do a routine, and so they get well known through being a routine dancer, and then more known later through as a social aspect.
So now, are you still with the Marines?
No, I'm not in the Marines any longer. I've retired from the Marines after 21 years.
Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you. And but I work for a defense contract, and so I still work with the Marines daily. So because I do computer communications for the Marine Corps. So I'm involved daily with those same people.
Same people.
Yeah.
Where do people find social dances?
It depends. I mean, normally a lot of the things are now, the venues have changed to somebody having, instructors having the parties at dance studios where they teach. So then there's dance studios. Energy is different than if you can go out and find a blues bar or someplace that and get a small group to go out. The energy is different with a live band, a good band, or even a good DJ. The energy, dancing to the energy is just incredible. So, you go out and dance where you can go out to find the dance.
And do you find that, like you just said, so if you go out with a small group, you'll dance differently than if you're at a dance studio? Does that affect how you dance? No. I think it's about the same.
It affects you from how creative you can become, But that a lot has to do with just how your demeanor is that night.
And just responding to the environment.
Yes.
In the years of social dancing, are you seeing that the venues have changed? Like you said, are they getting more away from the bars? And
yes, I mean the bars, they have when I first came up dancing, there was country bars and they had huge dance floors. Now it's easier for them to put tables and carpet there.
And pool tables.
And pool tables, and earn the same amount of money. So dance floors have kind of gone away again. So they're smaller. So dance venues have been reduced.
And the smaller dance floors, from my understanding, West Coast swing is probably one of the better dances to be in a smaller dance floor.
Absolutely. If you're a good social dancer, you can actually dance in a very small amount of space. The first place I was exposed to for like real West Coast swing was called the Press Box in Southern California in Orange County. And I'd been dancing country, and one of the ladies named Nancy Baca was basically bugging me, saying, you have to go to this Press Box place and see it, and see it. And I walked in there, and it was a small dive bar. And the floor wasn't great, and the music system wasn't great, but all the dancers were awesome. There was 150 people dancing on a small dance floor.
Wow.
Not bumping into each other, just, you know, the exchange places, it almost looked like there was choreographed, you know, how they moved on the floor. They knew each other. These were all the old timers, and they knew how to dance in a room, a small room, and to the music, and it was just amazing. And I walked in there thinking, okay, I'll go here for an hour, and then I'll head over to one of my country places to dance. And actually I walked in there and I stayed for 7 years. So I was there every Friday night after that, and that's where I met a lot of I was able to dance with a lot of the top West Coast swing dancers of the, you know, the early 90s, or see them. And it was just amazing, because it was a venue that, it was like watching an awesome Jack and Jill at the best event ever. All the top dancers would go there and dance on Friday nights. And you could just, it was watch, and it was a social environment. And you could dance with those people. I didn't know who Charlotte Bott was. I didn't know who Marianne Nunez was. I didn't know who Annie Hirsch was. I just knew that they were good dancers, and I'd go ask them to dance. I didn't understand their following their people until I like leave that area and go, yeah, I dance in Orange County, and people ask me, well, do you get to dance with Charlotte Bott? I'm like, yeah. And Mary, how are they? Well, they're fabulous. You know, I'm like, how do you know who these people are if you've never met them? Or never, I watched their videos, or I've seen them on video from the I'm like, okay. You know, that's kind of strange, but all right, that's not a big deal. But so I was able to dance with a lot of the top female dancers and see a lot of the top guy dancers. They were just amazing. As like a lot of the old timers, they were just awesome on their timing and little things that they do, and could make women do. It's great.
And when you're in an environment like that, where it's a small dance floor and you got a lot of people, as a leader, is your radar up even more, watching for your partner? Or
Yes, so you have to be very aware of who's dancing, and there's people that, you know, you get used to other guy leaders. Like, I knew who I wanted to dance end to end with on slots, because they'd have a short slot. So I'd dance end to end on them. Or then there was guys that I wouldn't want to dance next to, because I knew that they would dance a wider slot. So being aware of how you enter a dance floor, how you dance on the dance floor, and who you're dancing around, it's kind of important, picking that spot to dance on a social dance floor, and who can you, and I mean, there's people, they're like, okay, it's Mark, and you know, I don't want to dance end to end him, and I don't want to dance next to him, you know, I will dance on the kitty corner of him. So you've got to just make those judgments. And walking out on the dance floor, if you just barge out onto the dance floor and you've got a woman behind you, the first thing's going, oh, he didn't even care about the other dancers. I hope he's caring about me. Right. So that's, you're giving her an indicator that, right, getting on the floor, is this guy care about anybody else on the floor? You'd be surprised how often the farthest corner is the best place to dance. Yeah. Because, you know, everybody, people go, why are you dancing back there? Because that's where there's room, and that's where the energy is, and it's where it's fun to dance, you know, especially if we want to dance 10 in a row or something.
Well, I appreciate your time, and then you told me that you are doing some privates, and if people want to look you up at the event, is the best way to find you.
Yes.
Mark?
Good luck, Franklin.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. This is Franklin with GottaLottaDance. We'll see you again real soon.